Hey everyone, I'm Leena Parekh, the host of Entigrity, the Accountants Talkshow. हम इंडिया में जब भी यूएस सीपीए सीएमए या ईए कोर्सेज करने का सोचते हैं वी गो ऑन द इंटरनेट एंड वी ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट व्हिच इज द बेस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट अवेलेबल फॉर यूएस सीपीए कोचिंग यूएस सीएमए कोचिंग. And yes guys, there are few very dominant players in this industry who are doing amazingly well in this place. In majority of the cases, this institute are using the material which is being prepared in US, keeping US graduates in mind. So वहाँ के जो CPA review courses या CMA या EA review courses हैं, those material are being prepared keeping US graduates in mind. And definitely there is a gap of connecting the Indian graduates with the US graduates. So identifying this unique problem, my guest of today has come up with a solution and he has created its own content. So the only institute in CPA and CMA coaching who has created their own content, who has created their own learning platform, who has created the technology on this. And yes guys, it's none other than Mr. Varun Jain, who is a lead instructor at Miles Education and a co-founder of Miles Education. आज के टाइम पे माइल्स एजुकेशन हैव देयर ऑफलाइन प्रेजेंस इन 9 cities in India, and Varun Jain is being known for his high energy performance, right? So with this note, let me welcome Mr. Varun Jain as my guest of the Entigrity, the Accountants Talk Show. Welcome to my show, Integrity, the Accountants Talk Show. My name is Leena Parekh, the host of the show. By profession, I'm a chartered accountant. Right now, I'm director in Learning and Development Department of Integrity. आज के जो मेरे गेस्ट हैं, I don't think I need to introduce him. Something like everyone knows about him, but still, let me introduce my guest in a better way. Like everyone, he started his journey with working with one of the big four. Then he changed his job. So he started his journey with Deloitte. Then he worked with Morgan Stanley. While working, he thought जो mission इनका है life का, he's not able to fulfill that. And his mission was something very unique. His mission was that he wants to upscale the students and professionals and make them job ready. And with this mission, he left his job and came up into the industry of CPA coaching. So guys, everyone know who is my guest. My guest for tonight is Mr. Varun Jain, who is the lead instructor of Miles Education, CEO of Miles Education. So Varun, welcome to my show. Thank you so much for taking out your time and being here on my show.
Thank you so much, Leena. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And one best thing which I think everyone knows about Varun is the high energy and the high impact which is there in all his videos, and more than 10 million views in all his videos. So that is something which is only possible when there is a lot of content, where there is a lot of relevant information, a lot of knowledge which is sharing with all the students and the professional. So yes, Varun, um, before we start something with the traditional way of doing it, I would like to know, or everyone would like to know, how the journey of Varun Jain has actually started. So how did you thought of coming into this direction? What all challenges you had faced while coming in this? So leaving a good job, coming into an entrepreneurship, starting a coaching, that too into an area where no one else was there, or very less people were there in the market. So yes, Varun, I would like to know something on your side, your personal story, which no one else knows till now.
Okay, so Leena, basically, I did my graduation, and while I did my schooling, and then went on to do my BCom. This was the first year of my BCom when I had enrolled into the CA course, the Chartered Accountancy course. At my time, it was CAPE ONE.
Okay.
So I'd gotten the hall ticket for PE1, and then there were 4 exams at that point, and then you of course had the PE2 and then the finals. And I saw this as a very, very long journey, and I didn't really see the ROI out of it. And I'll sort of put the perspective together. So I was a pretty good student academically. So in my schools, I was one of the school toppers in my 10th and 12th with ICC ISC. I was one of the state all India rankers. So scores were really really good.
Okay.
So I was in Don Bosco in Calcutta. So after my schooling, my family had moved to Hyderabad. So I joined up school in Hyderabad. And I was also sort of on a part-time basis also working in my family business. And this is into manufacturing. We had factories. In Hyderabad, we moved from Calcutta to Hyderabad because of
Okay.
certain business reasons. So now, when I went to college, one of the things was I really wanted to have some fun. I mean, I was like,
Okay.
I was a big nerd in school. I used to have I was of course, one of the toppers, so very, very focused on studies and all of that. But in college, I really wanted to have some fun. I want to meet some girls, make some girlfriends,
Wow.
girlfriends slash friends. And and that point, it's like CA sounded like a real long commitment.
Yes.
So at that point, I knew if I started on CA, I was confident I'd be able to complete it. But I was like, if I try to get a CA rank or something, it's going to be a big deal. I'll have to work really, really hard. And the journey of 5 years sounded very long, to me at that point. And though I got my hall ticket, I didn't even go and appear for my PE1
Oh.
exams.
Oh.
So I said, okay, hey, I'll just do my BCom, and I was anyways working on my family business. So there's already a sort of a family business career path that I had.
Yes.
At the same time, I'd met Meenakshi, who's my wife in college.
Okay.
So imagine, Leena, I was from an all boys school, and I was here in this co-ed college, and I was actually very shy. I was a very, very shy person.
Okay.
How do you really go and approach a girl and tell her, okay, hey, I want to date you. Forget dinner. I want to take you out for lunch. So that was a big deal. So I made friends with Meenakshi, and her job was to help me approach the girls and find girlfriends. So that
Wow.
was the job, and she helped me find three of them, one after the other, of course.
Okay.
And then I realized, okay, hey, it's not really working out. It's very,
Okay.
very artificial. And then Meenakshi and me became very, very good friends, and and then of course we started dating. So all of that happened, and then.
So the purpose was something else and it ended to something else, but definitely something worthwhile and like the best thing of your life, probably.
Yeah, so actually we became very good friends first, and then we used to hang around. We used to go out for movies, coffee, and then of course, her job was to find me a girlfriend, right? That was her job. So whether it's college or it's a coffee shop, she
Okay.
was always on her job. Though it didn't really work out so well for me, but any case, so things moved on. Third year of my college, I gave CAT. I was studying with one of the premier training institutions for CAT, and I was doing pretty well. I was getting a 99.7, 99.8 percentile in my mocks. When I actually went on the CAT exam, I think it didn't go as well, but I still scored close to 98.7 or something like that percentile. So it was pretty good. I still got a call from IIM Bangalore.
Okay.
I was so confident that I'll get into ABC, that when you fill that CAT form, right, I did ABCL. I was like, no, that's all. I don't want to go for any of the other IIMs. So I did get a call from IIM Bangalore, not the rest, but so I had an interview at IIM Bangalore as well. And if you ask me, this was the best interview of my life, in terms of my confidence,
Okay.
back in college. So I was not a very regular class. I was not really attending classes in college. In BCom first year, perhaps my attendance would have been about 20-25%. Second year, maybe 5%. Third year, I didn't go to college.
We
So
can understand that completely from a boys' school if you're coming to a co-ed college. So definitely we don't expect you to be in college.
No, and coincidentally, right? And I was a university topper. So, right. There was an entrance exam. I was a topper. First year, I was a topper. Second year, I was a topper. Even my principal was perplexed what to do with me. You have this guy who's not attending college, but he's topping the university. So I remember my second, it was the end of my second year, the principal had called me, and said, okay, hey, I can't allow you to sit for the exams. You don't really have the attendance.
Okay.
Sir, come on. I mean, I'll be one of the toppers in the university. I topped last year as well. So then he gave me a challenge. He gave me a book from Peter Drucker, and he said, okay, hey, this is your book. You summarize it and present it to the entire class. And if you do a good job at it, I'll let you write your exam. So
that's
of course,
something interesting.
that was interesting because it was easy for me, right? I mean, you imagine a nerd, getting a book to represent. I think that was the easiest challenge he could have given me. Of course, I did a pretty good, presentation of that book, and of course, then I started following a lot of, management authors, including Peter Drucker himself. I started reading a few books, and it was like fun. So when I went for my IIM Bangalore interview, I remember, it was a real nice interview. I spoke to the professors. There were two professors there. I spoke to them about my family business experience, and all of that. I spoke to them about the parable of the three stone cutters. You've heard of that, Leena?
No, if you can share something on that.
So there are three stone cutters, who are cutting stone, and a traveler comes by, right? And the traveler, one by one asks them, "What are you doing?" The first guy says, "I'm really working hard to make a living, right? I'm cutting stone because I need to feed my family, and I'm working hard to make a living." Right. So the passenger, of course, the traveler, of course, moved on to the second one. The second guy, he said, he's very good at his job. He loved his job. He's like, I'm doing the best job of stone cutting in this country, right? So I'm really cutting stone, and I'm one of the best stone cutters in the country, and of course, very proud of what he was doing. And the traveler then moves on, to the third stone cutter and asks him, okay, hey, what are you doing? And the third guy, he says, I'm building a cathedral. Right. So the point is, the moral of the story here is, the first guy is, of course, making a living, is looking at a job to make ends meet. The second guy, he's very proud of what he's doing. He could be the best. This is more like our teams, Leena, right? So you may have a sales team who's really proud of, okay, I'm doing a good sales job. I'm the best marketeer. I'm the best recruiter, right? I'm the best accountant. So you may be very proud of your job, but it's the third guy who actually sees the mission and the vision of the organization or of the particular project, right? So I'd actually narrated this story, and of course, the words at the time were better because I knew the exact words, from Peter Drucker's books. So I'd done a great job on my IIM Bangalore interview, and I remember when I came out of the interview room, I was so happy. I was so excited that, okay, I'm going to crack it. I remember there was about a 4 feet long platform there, and I actually came out of the room and I was so excited I jumped.
Wow.
And I think perhaps the professors heard that jump and they realized I wasn't ready for IIM Bangalore, because ultimately when the results came out, I was rejected. And of course, I was very disappointed. I mean, if you do a bad job, you're rejected, you're like, okay, fine, I didn't do a good job. But when you think you've done a great job, and I still think today, you're like, okay, hey, it's just very sad. So I was very demotivated. I had not taken up campus placements or anything like that because I was very confident. I think confidence was always there, and sometimes it really costs you. Then of course, I was also into my family business, but my parents got to know about my love story, right? And then they were very.
There's a twist here.
Yeah, they were very disappointed. It's like, such a good guy, and I was always a good guy. Yeah, so such a good guy, good in studies, and very responsible. I was, and they're like, okay, how can this guy fall in love, right? And my parents were rather conservative, but at the same time, they were worried if I was taking the right decision, right? So that was, one of the concerns they had. My family also believes in horoscopes and all of that, and fortunately / unfortunately, it didn't match. So Meenakshi and my horoscopes were like poles apart, and
Oh my God.
you had all those astrologers saying that, okay, hey, this will not go through. These guys will not last. So my parents were like, okay, this is not
Now
it.
it has to be a full stop now.
It has to be a full stop, get done. And I was like, for me, because they were saying no, I was even more committed. I mean, of course I was equally committed, but now it's like, no, I've decided it. And then of course, in that entire thing, I didn't really go the family business way, because then again, it's sort of, I was a second generation entrepreneur there, right? So my dad had started it, and it was doing pretty good, but I decided, okay, I got to find my own career. I'm Bangalore didn't happen, so I took up this job at Deloitte.
Okay.
That was perhaps the first time I regretted, why didn't I get into CA? If I got into CA, it would have been good, but I decided not to. So when I got into Deloitte, I started working in the financial advisory services team, and in Deloitte, I got to know about CPA.
Okay.
Of course, didn't know about CPA in college or anything. And Deloitte is where I first heard of CPA, and of course, researched it up. And then I realized, okay, hey, it's only 4 exams, and you can become a
Yeah.
CPA. And I started studying for CPA, and about 10 months, I was able to pass. At that time, I had to go to the US to take the exams. I traveled to the US.
Yes.
I
Yes.
went to Chicago, for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think, and then did one exam at a time every week.
Okay.
Chicago was great. I also made a German girlfriend there, but anyways, but Chicago was nice. I think the entire experience of CPA was great, and I think I got a pretty good score. My average across the 4 parts was 95.
Okay.
Of course, hadn't really studied for the 95, studied for the 75, but got a 95, so was pretty excited and glad. And after I did my CPA, then from Deloitte, I got a job offer with Morgan Stanley. So it was one of my friend who was already working there, and he gave me a chance. Typically now in Morgan Stanley, you had most of my colleagues who were chartered accountants, or they were MBAs from top tier B schools. So I was given a chance. I got interviewed by an entire panel. There was, I think, about 8 people sitting in that panel trying to interview me and really test me. And I think I did pretty good there, because then they took me to the vice president who interviewed me, and she loved me. I mean, I think she did because she hired me, right? So I got a job as an investment banker at Morgan Stanley. I was an associate. Went pretty well, and I think just before I took up the job at Morgan Stanley, Meenakshi and me got married. Of course, at that time families didn't agree, so we had to run away. We got married in court.
Oh, so that's an interesting story for all the students of Varun Jain, sir.
So I was 22 back then, so got married, became an investment banker at Morgan Stanley, and I think I really worked hard. I worked hard at Deloitte, but I really worked hard at Morgan Stanley. I used to start office at 9 o'clock. I was back home at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at night, and it was. And I still think today, I think I worked harder for Morgan Stanley than I worked for Miles. I mean, of course, I put in everything here, but Morgan Stanley, I really gave it all. I used to work for so many executive directors and managing directors, and I think I had 4 or 5 bosses at a time, and I never used to say no. I worked really hard. I was working cross border. There were transactions happening with the Japan team, with the UK team, with the US team, and I really stuck, and I loved it. I mean, imagine you're 22 and you get this opportunity, and you really slog it out, and I enjoyed every moment.
In fact, it's
I
a
remember.
dream job even today also. So we can understand the joy, the excitement of getting a job. At that time, it would be something different.
And I remember, there was once when Meenakshi and me had planned for a movie, and this was like, I think, a 10 o'clock show. So she came in, she picked me up from office. We watched that 10 to 1, and 1 o'clock. Then she dropped me back to office to work all night, because I had a project. Had a presentation next day morning. So I think it was a lot of fun. It was the most, I would say, one of the most amazing times in my life. I made a lot of good friends there. Of course, we didn't really have time for friendship. I mean, half the days I had lunch on my table. The remaining half I went out for lunch, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it was good. In Morgan Stanley, I started doing a lot of training for new hires, new recruits. So I was nominated for a lot of things, and you early on in your career, right, you don't know how to say no. And I think that worked for me. And some people say no, but I think that worked for me, that if somebody came to me with something, I would slog it out. I won't even tell them, okay, I have five other things on my plate, and actually do it. So training came to me that way, and I started doing a few new hire trainings. Now the advantage with training was, right, you really get a lot of appreciation if you do a good job as a trainer. You really get appreciated. So I used to do this trainings where I used to get the orient the new hires into the role and stuff like that. A lot of them were top B school grads. But I think the training went pretty well. It should be small cohorts, about 8 to 10 people at a time. But I had a decent fan following with that, and I started loving training, and I sort of started feeling, okay, hey, this could be my calling, could be, right? But I was still working very, very hard at Morgan Stanley, and I remember, towards my, in my end of my stint with Morgan Stanley, I'd worked a lot with the UK team, and they wanted me to come over.
Okay.
This was early 2009. This was immediately after the financial crisis, right? Even Morgan Stanley was at a very, very tough position. There was Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all the investment banks, especially after the Lehman Brothers thing, were really, really adversely impacted. But I think the India team and the UK team, with whom I'd worked on a couple of deals, they were really, really excited, and they still wanted me over, and they wanted me to work for them. They wanted me to come over to London, and join them there. They're like, visas and all are the easiest thing. I mean, of course, it's a good firm, and they really loved me. But then I remember, my family didn't really want me to go in there. They wanted me to stay back in the country. If you ask me honestly, so I'm rather patriotic, and I really wanted to stay back as well. I was like, of course, London was great. So my perspective was, I'll go to London for a few years and then come back. But then I thought, okay, hey, what's the point of to and fro? And then the entire thought. So Meenakshi, my wife, she wanted to start up a training firm, a training institution. Her focus was more around HR, interpersonal skills, and all of that. And then it was like, okay, hey, I'm a CPA, and there's a huge. I mean, I saw a huge upside in my career with my CPA. Why don't we go out and get everybody aware of this program? Because Leena, I would say there was hardly any awareness. There's only via a couple of the big four where you could get some knowledge, and that too, because nobody knew about it, nobody really wanted to pursue it. It was very, very nascent. And then we said, let's go all out with that, and that is where the entire concept of Miles came in, and we started working together. I remember I worked for more than a year on putting together the content. I was like, the content needs to be perfect, and we didn't want to be a reseller of a US course provider, because there are a lot of challenges, inherent challenges there. So with that, I think we started Miles in 2011, and then we expanded across cities. We built up a pretty large ecosystem in the country. We work with more than 220 companies, including Entigrity, of course. We work with more than 70 universities across India. We've trained more than 50,000 CPAs and CMAs so far. So again, I think it's been a great journey. And I think if I look back, I think a lot of things in my life were sort of leading me to this path for CPA. I mean, the CA not happening, perhaps, but then CPA, or maybe the IIM Bangalore rejection was a good thing. And then of course, a few years back, I did a year-long exec program with Harvard and got a Harvard alumni status. And I was like, okay, great, okay, so what if that come in? I think got something equivalent or even better, I could say. So I would say, had a good run. And I'm, if you look back, I think life's been good. But then, if you look ahead, there's so much more to do, right? I mean, there's so many opportunities and so much to do. You feel like you've just started. Every day it seems like there's so much impact that we can create, as Miles, and really looking forward. Sorry, Leena, I think I gave a very long answer to your short question, but over to you.
I think, Varun, what you have said or what you have shared is something which would be an inspiring story, or maybe an inspiring and motivation factor for everyone. because two things which you said. One is about the failure or the rejection, and second is about the regretting part. So sometimes, in fact, many a time, especially for CA students, though they are not able to clear, but they still don't want to leave that CA thing, that I want to give a try, I want to give a try, I want to give a try, right? So if you are taking a decision of finally leaving it, so there should not be any regret, or like how you can come over that regret. And second, like the case of your IIM Bangalore, right? So that was a big, like obviously that was a big downside of yours at that time. It was like something you were expecting something really good, but you failed in that thing. So that was a rejection. So these are the major two challenges. In fact, I can see that in today's generation, or even these are the major 2 points where everyone gets stuck. How to come out of that regret and how to come out of that failure. How you can convert your challenges or failures into an opportunity like you did, right? So like कहते हैं सीए छोड़ देना, खुद से छोड़ देना बहुत बड़ी बात होती है, और वो भी उस टाइम पे जहाँ पे सीए का बहुत वैल्यू था. Like कहते हैं ना, once in like maybe 1,000 2,000 maybe 10,000 if you are a CA. So उस टाइम पे तो बात ही कुछ और थी. So how can you relate this with today's generation, wherein even if like the passing percentage of CA is only 10-15%, not more than that. So 85% of the CA students are dropout, or they are semi-qualified today, or by wish or by force they have to drop out of that CA course. So what you would like to tell them that sometime, because if it's by wish or by force, there's a regret every time. Kash maine kar diya hota. So how to move on from that side? I think that was something which was being said and shared by you.
Lena, let me talk about my experience in Miles. We have a lot of candidates who complete their CA, and with many years of experience, they come back and look at, okay, I've already done my CA, and I'll now top up with a global qualification like CPA, for instance, or a few of them go for an IIM Lucknow program and stuff like that. Then there are those who just passed their CA, got a job or didn't get a job, and like, okay, hey, let me take another degree because CA plus CPA would become great. And I realize CA needs a lot of hard work. A lot of my friends are chartered accountants. It needs a lot of hard work. And for those who have signed up, I think you've signed up for a big challenge. And when I say CA, CPA, any professional qualification that you're going in through, right? If you look at typically the journey here, right? So let's say an IIM or an IIT, it is very, very difficult to get in.
Yes.
Very difficult to get in. Once you get in, everybody gets out. If once you get admitted into an IIM, everybody will pass, or in a class of 80, at least 79 will pass.
Yes.
Right. So getting in is very difficult. Getting out is what is getting in is very difficult. Getting out is a piece of cake, right? Yes. So it's more like a triangle where only few get in, but everybody who gets in gets out. It's like a funnel.
Yeah.
Now, CA, works in a reverse way, right? Where everybody can get in, yes. CA or CPA, even CPA for that matter, Lina. I mean, yes. We actually have a lot of CPA candidates also, where everybody can get in, but only the best get out, right? Only if you're really, really good. CA, of course, is a lot of rigor because it's sort of in lieu of a university degree where CA says BCom is not required and you can become a chartered accountant without going to college. And that's the logic why they have 20 exams, and they really want to keep this as elite, and that's why you have some screening, filtering happening at the foundation level, a lot of screening at the inter level, and then again further screening at the final level. Yes. So I think for those who are chartered accountants, or even those who have not been able to complete it, the rigor, the perseverance is huge, and I really see that with CA candidates who first had the courage to sign up for it. Whether they passed or didn't pass is a different deal, right? If you passed, great, amazing. You're a rock star. But even if you didn't, the point is, the good thing is that you really given your best, you really tried. So sometimes, right, and a lot of candidates come to me asking me for the decision, should I quit CA and do CPA? So I say, I can't take this decision for you, right? You've worked hard. There's a lot of effort that you put in. You need to decide. If you think, okay, hey, this is too much, and you can jump ship and sort of find a way out, your call. Or if you want to sail on two boats, it's going to be difficult. It's possible, but it's difficult. Or you want to focus on CA, complete your CA, and then come over. But the point is, right, I would whether you're a CA or you're a CA dropout. I think I really appreciate that you signed up for this. And anybody who signs up for CA, Lina, knows, and you're a chartered accountant, so you can appreciate before you sign up, you're signing up for climbing Everest. I mean, so that you signed up for it, whether you reach the top or you didn't reach the top, I would really appreciate. And I think Entigrity does a great job in terms of really appreciating those, even those who have not completed their CA, and really onboarding them. And a lot of companies, we work with a lot of companies who really value CA interns, right? Not able to complete CA final, but then that they started and went halfway itself is good testimony. Articleship, now of course I'm talking about people who are doing the real articleship. They work really, really hard. I mean, stipends and all is not even the concern. Most CA articles really slog it out. They learn, right? It's an amazing apprenticeship system that has been created by the ICA. Of course, there are challenges and people have qualms. Okay, pass rates are low and all of that. Now, what happens is, for those who are CAs or didn't do CA, I would say, if you are looking at alternatives, then there are alternatives, right? I mean, one alternative is, let's say, doing an MBA from a top B school. But then again, there you're looking at an exam like a CAT or a GMAT, and only a few will get in. And ideally, MBA after a few years of experience makes a lot of more sense than MBA in the early stage of your career. So now the alternative sort of pivots down to global qualifications. Yeah. And I think CPA becomes a favorite choice for many of these, CAs as well as CA dropouts or CA candidates who are, a lot of people do CPA between the 3-year gap between their CA inter to CA final, right? So people also, I love the way CA guys, I mean, most of the CA students that I've met are really hardworking. I mean, and I think that will take them a long, long way in their life, whether they complete CA or they do CPA or even otherwise. I think, CA calls in for a rigor, and people who sign up have signed up for that rigor. So, and of course, CPA and other career paths are there, but, over to you, Lina. I think I would stick to shorter answers to your questions.
So, one thing what you said, Varun, is one who is going for CA is something which is respectable because he know कि वो अपनी life को बहुत time के लिए change करा. He's ready to sacrifice lot of things. He's ready to put lot of efforts. Everyone knows कि 1,500-2,000 के stipend में कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. Correct. Right. Unfortunately, it happens that everyone is going through this lot of hard work, but everyone is not getting the benefit, or everyone is not getting the growth, the result which everyone is looking for. And yes, you said it very right, Varun. शायद वहीं पे integrity आता है. और in fact, integrity का thought ही वही है that we want to give a growth opportunities to CA dropouts. Just because they cannot clear exam by 5 to 10 marks or something like that, उनकी जो articleship की मेहनत है, जो knowledge की उन्होंने like the hard work they have done for appearing in exams, the hard work they have done in articleship by sacrificing their life, they should be paid off. And probably we are very happy and we are very proud to say that Entigrity is a company which has been built out of 1,000 CA dropouts.
Wow. Wow.
So out of 1,300 team members, 1,000 team members are actually CA dropouts or inter CA. And trust me, Varun, all my senior managers or managers are actually CA inter or CA dropouts. And I'm very proud to say that. क्योंकि उन लोगों का experience, उन लोगों की मेहनत, उन लोगों को यहाँ तक लेके आई है. And at Entigrity, we definitely believe that we respect degree. Even I am a CA, so I don't say that degree की value नहीं है. Degree has their own place, but your hard work, your knowledge, your performance has nothing to do with a degree, right? So this is what exactly we are doing, and looking into the same direction as we both like Entigrity and Miles has tied up. We are sponsoring CPA, CMA, and EA courses so that those who couldn't clear, if they are still willing to go for a designation, at least they can go for CPA. They can go for CMA, they can go for EA, wherein we are giving a complete sponsorship and getting association with Miles, wherein we are getting a tremendous support from you in case of hiring, in case of coaching. In fact, I think a lot of team members have just joined your sponsorship program as well.
Very nice. Very nice. Amazing. Amazing. I think, Lina, you guys are doing a great, fantastic job. I also spoke to Shalin the other day, and really, really inspiring the way you guys have started, and starting off from Ahmedabad and now scaling up across the country, and more than 1,000 CA folks who have done CA. And I think you sort of found the right team members for yourself, Lina. I mean, very hardworking folks, and of course, so many of the CA candidates also attending our sessions, attending the CPA, CMA, and really see that ambition and the zeal that all of them have. So very nice.
So now, Varun, I think Miles is the only CPA coaching institute in India who has created their own platform, who has created their own content. And like, as you said, you didn't want it to be the reseller of US course. So that is something as a big achievement. And we really appreciate the efforts and the hard work you have put into this thing. So like we can say
I'll
that
tell you,
Miles
why
is
we did
like,
that in the first place. I'll tell you why we did that in the first place, right? So it's about so when let's say when we look at all these US materials, and all of them are good, right? Anybody can study from them and pass, not a problem there. But the point is, it has been designed keeping in mind that the CPA candidate is a US accounting graduate, right, who's done US audit, and there are a lot of accounting subjects which are required as a CPA prerequisite for CPA eligibility. So all the CPA candidates in the US have done a bachelor's in the US, where they study US GAAP in college, they study US audit in college, they study US tax in college, right? They know what's a 1040, they know what's 1120 and a 1065 and a W2 and all of that, right? So they've already done that, they've been there, done that. And the CPA program is designed more like a review course program, like a revision, because they've already studied it and they have to give the exams. And that is the entire presumption that the US course providers have, and they're not wrong, right? Because that's what that audience needs. Now, when we started Miles, we were very clear that okay, hey, it's not that we didn't want to head to the US and become market leaders there, but we want to focus on international markets, especially India, of course. And we understand that our candidate is going to be an accounting graduate, BCom graduate from India, so who understands accounting, who understands finance, no problems there. Does not really know US GAAP.
Yes.
Perhaps knows a little bit of Indian auditing standards, but not the US auditing standards. Does not understand ABC of US tax, right? You also need to tell them why there are state taxes, why US is the United States of America, why states have autonomy, and then why the federal structure in place, how the president of the US is the commander-in-chief of the US Army. So you don't even know those basics. And then you talk about, okay, hey, initially the constitution was around state taxes, and then federal taxes came into being. So you need to give an entire background for everything, sort of sometimes even related to Indian forms. Let's say, when I'm teaching a form W2 on a regulation class, I'll say, okay, hey guys, this is your form 16 in India, right? So it sort of becomes very, very relatable to people, and they're able to connect the dots. So the point is, right, when you look at all those US course providers, for them, it was more like, you already know this, you've come only for a revision. Here, our assumption is, okay, you're good in your concepts, your accounting finance concepts are strong, but you still need a little bit of an extra edge to get there. So, when we build our content, a lot of focus on concepts, right? Let's say, when we look at US course providers, when they do videos, they don't even teach you on boards and all. Let's say one of them just is highlighting on the book. And that is good, right? That is good for the US audience. But if you use the same thing, so the resellers, what they do is take the same thing, resell it to the Indian candidates. And that is where, see, it may work, right? The smartest guys will still pass. For the smartest guys, it does not matter, right? But then the smartest guys are 5% or 10% of the overall audience. The remaining 90%, they want a little bit more, right? So even the smartest guys come to us, they can go anywhere. But the remaining 90% of the guys, I think they have a pretty good journey, given our focus on concepts and the kind of practice that we do. And again, see, what happens is, when you look at CA versus CPA, right? When you're doing your CA, Alina, you are a CA, so you can agree on that. Your only focus in life is to become a chartered accountant.
Exactly.
There is nothing else, right? There are no other professional commitment, no other personal commitments. The only thing in life is to become a CA. For breakfast it is CA, for lunch it is CA, for dinner it is CA.
Yes.
Right.
I can recollect all those memories and right.
So the point is, that's the immersion that you have into the CA program. Now, the challenge with CPA is, right, CPA is designed to be for after graduation, right? CSA is after class 12th, right? So no, forget graduation, do 20 exams. CPA starts after graduation. Now, our candidates, more than 80% of CPA candidates are full-time working professionals on a full-time job and starting to their studies along with their full-time job. And this is the trend globally. Now, the challenge with these candidates is there are a lot of priorities, right? You're on a full-time job, so you're putting 40, 50, 60 hours on the job. You may have projects, whatever. You may be married, you may have kids. A lot of them are married with kids. A lot of them married, no kids. A lot of them are not yet married, having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So again, a lot of professional / personal commitments, right? And then third in line comes CPA. So the challenge is, right, when you look at a lot of candidates, and this is true even in the US, but more so internationally, right, that we see, you're not able to really put that in place, right, in terms of how do you prioritize. And I think where we came in is we said, okay, we're going to handhold candidates through the journey. We have extensive boot camps and all of that. And I will not say we've achieved 100% success there, but majority of our candidates appear for exams. It's still not 100%. So I would say about 55%, 50 to 55% of the candidates who enroll with us appear for exams. And about 40 to 45 of them pass in the first attempt. So we're not still happy about it because there's the remaining half, the remaining 45% who keep postponing their exams, trying to use excuses. From a Miles standpoint, see another thing, right? When you look at these US review course providers, they'll give you a 12-month, 18-month kind of a timeline. And we said we want to give support till you pass. And I'm not saying what we're doing is a perfect solution, because sometimes people misuse the flexibility. But still, right, you want to sort of make sure that you're there with them on this journey, get them till the end. Even from a placement standpoint, right? I know some of our alumni whom we have helped them find their third job. Right, so we are part of the career progression journey of all our candidates. So I think the biggest joy for all of us at Miles is to see our candidates succeed, right? Pass the exam, get a job, and as a matter of fact, now we're getting them a lot of people jobs even before they pass the exam. People who are pursuing CPA get jobs. Somebody who passes one CPA exam becomes like a CPA inter.
Yeah, I can understand. Yes, great. So when you thought of bringing this CPA as an Indian options to Indian students, so what were the challenges you were facing? So like there would be definitely like you are going in the opposite direction. So trend is going on this side and you are going into the opposite direction. So there would be a lot of challenges. There would be a lot of problems which you would have faced. So what was that one point that you were firm enough that no, nothing, whatever happens, I will continue with this thing. So you didn't thought that, okay, don't like, because investing in a content, making a platform, that takes a lot of your time. So didn't you thought that ये इतना time इसमें डालूं, इससे better है काम करता हूँ, चलो ना वापस से वही like short time में मेरा long term benefit आ जाएगा.
For me, the most important conviction was how CPA changed my life. When I moved from Deloitte to Morgan Stanley, my salary went up about 6 times, plus commissions, plus the bonus that we were getting and all of that. So, and it's not just salary, the kind of role that I got, and it was really amazing, the way it changed my life. And I knew that this is going to be a great career choice for a lot of Indian finance and accounting folks. And post CA, during CA, not doing CA, for anybody in finance and accounting, this would be a big deal. And India, even at that time, was becoming or was in the process of becoming the global finance and accounting hub. So a lot of finance and accounting jobs. So the jobs on one side, this is a great reputed qualification, and there was a conviction that will happen. Of course, there were many challenges, right? People were not aware of this, right? So challenge number one. Challenge number two: when we started Miles, the exams were only in the US.
Yes.
Right. So, a lot of queries at that time is, okay, hey, chalo, we decide to do CPA. How will you help us get the US visa? Right. And it was, because you only need a B1, B2 visa at that point. I mean, even now for the CPA exam, you don't need more than that. So it's not a big deal. But the point is, there were too many ifs and buts, right? And it sounded like a bird in the bush.
Yes.
And then we started working, and we actually, immediately, I think within a year, we had many case studies, people who had succeeded, and I think the word of mouth spread, and we were able to really scale this up. So there were a lot of questions, a lot of concerns that people had. But I think, a lot of folks then, of course, when you speak with conviction and you are saying the right things, people then believe in you. And then a lot of our alumni, I remember one of my first alumni, he'd come to a Bangalore office like a few weeks back, very reminiscent, very excited. Some people take a jump because they trust in you. And then, of course, now it's scaled up. Even now, I think, for people to sign up, it's more like a jump in their career. They're not really very sure whether, okay, they can commit to it, whether this is for them, whether they'll be able to get there. A lot of them trust in Miles. And I think that's a huge responsibility that we have as an organization. I'd say we try our best to sort of get there. But I think challenges will always be there. But I think if you're going on a path with conviction, when you know it's the right path and you're doing the right thing, people believe in you, people come on to you. And I think same for Entigrity, right? I mean, you can't build up a 1,000+ workforce if you're not on the right path, if you don't have the right vision, mission, values.
Yes. So now, because like definitely the trust, the hard work which you have done, you are getting it back, right? Through the way the number of students are growing up, the way you have opening up a lot of classes. So in Bangalore, in Ahmedabad, right? So, like, what are the growth plan for Miles right now? So, how you are looking for expanding more on the geography wise, or maybe on the courses? And I think one unique point of Miles is that you are focusing only on CPA and CMA, right? So, what like you didn't thought of including other courses as well into this category, or like there are 2 points. So how you are planning for your journey, how you are planning that what is the growth strategy or the future planning of Miles, and second, why you are only focusing on CPA and CMA and not other designations or not other international designations.
Okay, so Lena, I think one of the things that when we started off, our mission was to build the ecosystem for CPA or CMA. These are alternate career tracks for people. And I think over the years, our mission is now evolved to be to build the ecosystem for global finance and accounting talent. And the reason I say global, and you would agree with me, is India is evolving to become the finance and accounting hub for the world, right? You may have a company which has got offices, and I know many of them in over 100 countries. They would do their accounting and finance for all those 100 countries right here in India. They may have some people on the ground, but they would try to centralize the entire finance and accounting function, whether it's payables or receivables or the reporting or reconciliations or intercompany consolidations, all of the finance and accounting right here in India. They would do it themselves, or they could outsource it to an Accenture or whatever. The point is, the global finance and accounting value chain is driven in a lot of ways from India today. And I think, the forecast is, the trend is, it's going to only increase in the next few years. Of course, I'm not talking about increase in headcount always, because there's also a lot of automation kicking in. A lot of transactional jobs are getting automated, and you really need finance and accounting people with the right mindset who can be a strategic business partner. There's robotic process automation, there is AI, ML, all of that coming in. So, I think, from an India standpoint, there is a huge skilled talent pool that India would need in finance and accounting. And I think we as Miles, of course, we are number one in CPA CMA. More than 80% of CPAs and CMAs in India are Miles alumni. So we are number one there. But what we try to do is we try to look at a lot of skills that people need as they go ahead with their career progression. Now, the skills could be via professional qualification. So we do CFA. We started FRM. We're also looking at ACCA for some UK, accounting practices. We're looking at CIA, EA. So all of that is there. But on top of that, we've also launched a program with IIM Lucknow recently. Okay. This is an executive program in digital finance transformation. Okay. Now, this program talks about how you as a finance and accounting professional, typically meant for 3+ years experience, or rather, the average experience that we have in the class so far is about 8 years, right? So how do you as a finance leader transform the finance function. So the point here is a lot of skills that you need in finance and accounting. So that's one side. On the other side, Lina, what we are working, and this is something that we're doing with Entigrity, as we're doing with a lot of other clients, is helping companies recruit the best talent and do a lot of boot camps and sessions and cohorts, working backwards from specific company requirements. So we are the official recruiter for all of the big four, multiple other public accounting firms as well. So I think one of our major jobs is the ecosystem, which is creating a lot of demand, with our clients, and then also creating a lot of supply. So a lot of clients says we need CPAs. A lot of the clients says, okay, no problem, we don't have CPAs. Just make sure they understand audit, make sure they understand tax, right? So skills, and then of course making sure that there are enough and more jobs. Let's say very recently we've also launched out AI CPA certification in audit and tax, right? So multiple other pieces. Do you see the agenda is how do we power this finance and accounting talent supply chain? Which will of course help our clients, the corporates, find the right skill talent, and help our students, let's say freshers, they're looking at job readiness. How do I get ready for my first job? For professionals, you're looking at a career progression. So I think we are broadening out quite a lot in finance and accounting. Geographically, of course, we are there across the Middle East, US, Southeast Asia, multiple countries around the world. But I think our heart is in India, and the opportunity is also in India. Having said that, a lot of candidates do want global exposure. So we are working with one US university now. We are collaborating with a few more where we have a master's program. So you go there, do a 1-year program, and we've created an accounting program as a STEM program. So you get a 3-year work permit after your 1-year work. A lot of our candidates go to Canada, UK, around the world. So again, see, people find out global opportunities, but I think our major role is powering this finance and accounting talent supply chain. Now, Miles has other businesses as well. So universities, again, same story. More than 70 universities have integrated, the CMA and the CPA programs. Good ones like Christ University, Bangalore, Loyola College, Chennai, St. Joseph's, Mount Carmel. So multiple, universities and colleges across the country who have integrated. As Miles, we also have a tech training division. We sort of look at that simultaneously with Futurense, which is a data engineering company. I'm one of the co-founders there. So again, a lot of things that we're doing, everything is around talent supply chain. That's the tech talent. But I think my commitment, my role remains focused on finance and accounting. This is something I totally understand. This is something I'm very passionate about. And and I think what fuels us is we've already seen tens of thousands of success stories, right? So you've seen a lot, and you're like, okay, hey, can we make this hundreds of thousands? Can we make this millions of success stories? So I think very, very long way to go.
Very true, very true. So actually, like, how do you see the change in people for pursuing CPA? So now, because people can appear for CPA exams through India, so do you think ये change आने के बाद लोगों ने कहते हैं ना CPA के लिए ज़्यादा prefer करना चालू किया, because like the major challenge था कि US कैसे जाना है या वो जो cost था, that is still being taken care. So do you think this change has ये जो change हुआ है, that is one of the major reason why people are going for global destination or maybe US CPA?
So Lina, yes, this was truly a game changer, and I'll tell you, not just, and I think from the outside we think travel cost and travel hassles go away, which is the point. But I'll tell you, with the CPA exams in India, our pass rates have gone on top of the roof, right? So earlier our pass rate used to be about 70%, 68% to 75% that used to be range, but let's say on an average 70%. Now with exams in India, our pass rates have gone up to as high as 82%. And it is not just because of the saving in travel hassles or travel cost. Now, if you look at this, right, what happens is CPA is designed for working professionals, where exams happen all 365 days, online exams, you choose your dates. Now, when people have to go abroad, they have to prepare for all the 4 exams and then go to a foreign country and take the exams in 2, 3, 4 weeks and come back. So the point is, you have to prepare for all 4 subjects at one go. And for you to get ready was very, very difficult. Now with exams in India, now what our candidates are doing is they're preparing for and passing one at a time. So do one exam, forget the second, third, fourth, only one. then only the second, only the third. Now the rule is from the date you pass your first exam, it will be 18 months to clear the remaining three.
Yes.
And people need 9 to 12 months after that. So, what I tell candidates is passing that first exam is your biggest hurdle. I often tell candidates, passing that first exam is like 70% done. Though statistically you have done only 1 out of 4 exams, 25%, but you're actually 70% done, because after that second, third, and fourth milestone are very, very easy. So I think this has been a game changer. Now, when CPA exams came to India, there was some people, some students had concerns. Okay, now exams are in India, numbers will increase, so supply will increase. What will happen to demand? Competition बढ़ जाएगा, हर कोई CPA बन जाएगा, तो मेरा CPA बनने का कोई value भी रहेगा क्या? So that was a big concern. What our team did is we started really going aggressive with our corporate clients in terms of talking to them, educating them, and telling them, okay, hey, now you can get a lot more CPAs than you see earlier. What happened is a lot of CPA positions, right? Companies, let's say you had a requirement of 40 CPAs, you find 2 of them. Remaining 38 had chartered accountants.
Yes.
That was typically the fund. I can't find CPAs, hire Cs. Even today, they do that. So today, when they need 40 CPAs, perhaps they find 15. Yes. 25 were short, they hired chartered accountants. Yes. So the point is the supply is increased. The pay packages have really gone up. So again, the point here is, right, the demand is, the supply has gone up, of course, but the demand has also gone up. Success rates have improved. So I think we are headed in a pretty good direction, from a CPA course in particular, and the general finance and accounting talent. Let's say even in Entigrity, Lina, of course you want chartered accountants or CPAs for a few roles, but then there are a lot of roles where you would just be happy with somebody who understands how global audit works or how international taxation works.
Yes, exactly. In fact, what you said, about the flexibility which students are getting for going for this global designation is something which is very easy, and that is a buying point for students. So even like when we are taking induction in Entigrity, when I'm explaining them about the sponsorship of CPA, CMA, and EA, so that's what I tell them. The best part is because you are working right now, you don't have to take the load together. एक पेपर की अच्छे से तैयारी करो, फिर अपीयर करना, right? So that's what we explain them कि हम sponsorship भी इसीलिए दे रहे हैं so that you don't have to invest your money. But at the same time, like the process is like, if anyone is associated with Miles, if any student say I'm ready to go, I'm good to appear for exam, Miles has to certify that. Like whether he has been working thoroughly, whether he is getting good marks in the practice exams or not. And if Miles tells me yes, then we sponsor that exam fees. Why we are doing it? So that logo ka sponsorship based na ho, because it's a big investment on the time wise, money wise. So that's what we guide everyone, that you can go for these courses, and the best is the flexibility you are getting it. तो आपको सब कुछ साथ में नहीं करना है, एक पेपर पे फोकस करो, अच्छे से मेहनत करो, appear karo, and then go for next paper. This is something which I think all the especially CA dropouts would be looking for, क्योंकि CA में पता है सब कुछ साथ में करना है, 2-3 अलग-अलग criteria हैं clear करने के लिए. So this is something which is very good, the flexibility which every student is getting. And with a working professional, this is something what everyone would be looking for. Right? कि अगर साथ में अगर देना हो या कुछ टाइमलाइन हो या नहीं, सब पेपर साथ में देने, then I don't think even the working professional would go for this course.
True. Even in the US, same story, right? It's designed in a way where it's 1 mile at a time, because it is meant for working professionals, right? So professional qualifications in the US are very different from India. When in India, typically you do it like a full-time student. In the US, it is after graduation, complete graduation, start working, right? And professional qualification is alongside the full-time job.
Yes. So Varun, my next point is how do you picturize this thing? Like, should the CA drop out, or the semi-qualified CA, or someone who cannot go for other designations of India should go for CPA, or even as a first choice now people can go for CPA?
So Lina, again, we have all sorts of candidates. We have a lot of candidates who decided never to do a CA. I never touched their hands. I have people with 20 years of experience, and they come back and tell me, Varun, I have 30 chartered accountants reporting to me I want to have a professional qualification. Hence, I want to do a CPA or a CMA. So a lot of senior folks come back early stage again. See, in finance and accounting, Lena, professional qualifications really matter. And I would say skills matter first. Skills come in first, and I think that's what Entigrity recognizes. You may be a CA or not a CA. If you have the right skills, you have the right attitude, you'll do good. But on top of that, professional qualifications do matter from a career progression standpoint. Wherein if you're a CA or a CPA or you have any other professional qualification, your career growth would be significantly expedited. So the point here is, if you've been able to do a CA, and a lot of chartered accountants come back for CPA, and I say, okay, hey, you already have the cake. This is like the icing on your cake.
Yes.
For those who are not CA or who are CA dropouts, I tell them, okay, hey, CPA is going to be your cake.
Yes.
You need that, professional qualification. To really succeed. And I mean, you can do even without a professional qualification. There's no such law, but typically the practice is you would be working with a lot of other people who have a professional qualification and who have a better chance at career growth than you, just because you may be equally talented. Think about it, right? If two people are doing the same job and are doing an equally good job, one guy is a chartered accountant and one guy is not, and if you have to promote anyone, naturally you're going to promote the chartered accountant, right? So the point is, professional qualifications really matter. And getting one really helps you establish. See, again, the thing with professional qualifications is, right, somebody says, Lena, I'm an MBA. What will be your immediate next question? From where?
Yeah.
When you could do an MBA from a Mumbai University or a Gujarat University or an Osmania University, or you could be an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, right? So, or an ISB. So MBA, always the question is, from where did you do it? But somebody comes and asks you, he's a chartered accountant. Would you ask him from where?
No, definitely not.
There's only one body, ICAI, who does that. Or somebody who's a CPA, you're not going to ask him from where. He's going to pass the same exams by AICPA. So what happens is, professional qualification in very less words, in a few letters, CA or CPA, in a very, very few letters, they establish your credibility. And in case of CPA, right, the credibility is not just national, it's global, right? The kind of respect that we have for chartered accountants in India, you have the same respect globally.
Yes.
You talk to anybody, talking to a CFO who's based out of the US, talk to an investor, from Japan, talk to a client in Europe, talk to a colleague in Singapore or Australia. The moment you say you're a CPA, right, 3 letters, the person on the other side knows that you have, achieved one of the highest accounting qualifications in the world, and you are a seasoned professional in finance and accounting and business. So it really does the magic in terms of credibility, and also, of course, it gets you ready for the skills, allows you to differentiate yourself.
Exactly. That is something like, Varun, we always say this. The reason why we are sponsoring these courses is, definitely this designation is going to help these students or the employees. But for us, it's completely the knowledge which you are going to get from these courses, which is going to help you to perform much better on the client side.
Amazing.
Right. So one thing I would just like to say, in Entigrity, there is no competition with CA degree. So no questions, no regrets, nothing like this. We have some, like, there's nothing like that. But if a CA and inter-CA or a CA dropout, if CA is not performing and if inter-CA is performing, he would be growing faster than a CA. That is for sure from us in Entigrity.
So Nina, I meant if they're performing equal.
Yeah, then definitely there's always a gap between the thing. But yeah, definitely, yes. Okay. So Varun, like, many times it would have happened that many students would love to go for CPA, but the fees, the cost involved in this is something very huge, right? And probably many of the students or members or professionals would like to back out because of this reason. So how do you support to those things, or how do you give a solution to those challenges? And what are the better options available to come out of this problem?
So Nina, of course, see, we are finance people. If you want returns without investment, that does not happen.
Yes.
Right. So you need to invest and then look at the ROI. So of course, there are loan facilities and all of that, which people do. Of course, there are also options of getting recruited, right? They join Entigrity and then they get sponsored by the firm. So that's another option. So you can sort of fund yourself. You get your parents to fund you, friends and family. A lot of professionals self-fund themselves. They are already earning their salary and they really invest that money. So I
Yes.
would say, CPA gives you an amazing ROI or amazing return on investment. I think it's investment, but Alina, I'll tell you, let's say, these are expensive exams, right?
Yes.
The exams cost more than 2 lakh rupees. So these are expensive exams, but the point is the ROI is huge, right? Once you become a CPA, if you look at the incremental salary that you get for every year, and you do a net present value, it's worth crores.
Yes, exactly. So there is obviously a huge difference. So input and output has a very big gap.
True, very true, very true, very true. Absolutely.
Yes. So actually, Varun, in this the whole like cases. So sometimes it might happen that students might not be able to clear, right? Even the CP exams. And then again, like they might feel rejected, they might feel depressed. So for maximum, how many attempts even the CPA students go for this examinations? So because like clearing in first attempt is not, which is like, but that's not very normal also in CPA. So it's not like as tough as Indian CA, but it could not be very easy that anyone can go and clear it on the first attempt.
Of course, a lot of candidates do pass all the 4 exams in the first attempt, but there are other candidates. Let's say you give first exam, you passed. The second exam you failed, but you tried the second exam again until you pass, and then you did the third and the fourth. So the point is, you don't fail the overall group or something like that, right? You only fail a particular exam part. Or you
Yes.
gave your first exam, you failed, and then you give that same exam again, and then you have a confident second, third, fourth pass. So
Yes.
most of the candidates passed all 4 in the first attempt. Then
Okay.
there are others who passed 3 in first, and for one of the exams they took 2 attempts.
Okay.
Then there are of course others who had the same issue in 2 exams or things like that. Uh, you know, uh, few who are just not able to pass, and they realize, okay, it's too tough. And what we do is, even for those candidates, we have, let's say, we've started a program with the AICPA in terms of certification. But even before that, what we do is we get them job ready and we actually get them placed so that they start working. So it's not that it's a drain,
Yeah.
but then few of them then come back and they're able to turn it around. So
Okay.
pass rates are, see, global pass rate for CPA, Lina, is more than 50%.
Okay.
At Miles, we have an 82% pass rate as of the last year. So the point is, the pass rates are pretty encouraging. But yes, sometimes people face hurdles, and the hurdles could be, right, I got nervous on the exam,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe I was just not very well prepared. So
Okay. So maximum, I think it would be 1 or 2 attempt in which normally a CPA can clear that exam.
absolutely.
Great. Fair enough. So just last one question, then I have something interesting to come up, right? So, like, what do you think? Like, if, like, when, what could be the, because the most of the viewers are in the having an interest in going for CPA or CMA, right? So, what do you think the partnership or the, hello?
Yes, Lina, we
Yeah,
can
okay.
hear
I
you.
thought the screen got stuck. Yeah. So, what do you think? How the partnership of Miles and Integrity, wherein we both have the same vision and a thought, can help the students or can help the members for their journey, for their growth? So, what do you think? How this thing can be more helpful, or how this can work out for them?
So, Lina, I think one of the real opportunities that I see is, of course, we have candidates who completed the CPA or pursuing their CPA who get placed with Integrity, and they do well. And the good thing is, Integrity is really, appreciative of, the journey so far. It's not that you have to complete a CPA or a CA to get into Integrity, and you can even get in on the way. So that's been amazing. That you guys are expanding across the country and also going to a lot of tier 2 cities. I think that is an amazing journey and an amazing synergy that I see. Third, the sponsorship policy that you have for CPA, right? Somebody comes to us and say, okay, CPA, this is a 3.5 lakh kind of an investment, and I don't really want to do it. Okay, start working with Integrity. Of course, you start making money, your salaries, you start learning, you start working on a lot of global assignments, and at the same time, your program gets funded. So I think synergies are amazing, and really looking forward.
Same here. In fact, we are glad that probably we all are going into the same direction, and ultimately we might be able to add back to the society. We would be able to give back to the society. So that is something, yes. And I think, Varun, I think couple of questions which are coming in for integrity sponsorship programs. I would just like to answer that. So basically, if you want to apply for integrity, there's a test. Once you clear that test, then you would be like interviewed by the managers, and the HR round will come up. So in a few of the cases, if you are not getting any reply from integrity, it could be, the reason could be you have not cleared those tests. So that is just one process. The step is like you have to apply for the test, you clear that test, then HR round and manager round will be done. If you are selected, then you would be part of integrity, and then yes, you can go for CPA, CMA, and EA sponsorship, whatever you guys want. So that's the process generally of integrity. Okay, so Varun, I think we have a lot of discussions on this technical side. Now I would like to have a quick rapid fire round about knowing more about Varun Jain.
Sure, Lina, I'll try my best.
Okay, so if Varun was not a CPA tutor, instructor, what else Varun would have been?
Investment banker.
Okay, your one dream which you think you have achieved.
I think one of the things that I think we've achieved is we wanted to sort of get to a 10,000 students and seeing them succeed, and I think we achieved that a few years back. The next milestone is 100,000.
Wow.
So I think long way to go, Alina. These are only milestones. I think and I often tell people there's no life is not a destination. It's more about the journey and the milestones that you achieve.
Okay. One of your childhood memories which you would like to share, or maybe the best memory of your childhood which you would like to share.
So I remember I was in third class, when the results were announced, and at that time I was, of course, a normal student in class. Yes. And suddenly my number came up, and the teacher calls me and asks everybody to clap their hands because I came first in class. Okay. I think being a very studious kind of a guy, that was, of course, that's still a very, very fresh memory, and I think that gave me a lot of confidence that yes, I could achieve, and of course then I've been a good student, and it sort of helped me professionally as well. Okay. What is that one thing for which Varun can do anything? Apart from this CPA students and everything, वो नहीं add करना उसमें. So one thing, and I think I would do anything, for my team. I really I love the team that we have. We are a pretty large team. We're more than 400 people across India today. But I work very closely with a lot of members who are really, really passionate, and I think they define Miles more than I do. I mean, of course, a lot of times I'm pushed to the front, but I think I do anything for my team. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what Varun likes to do in his free time? I love to I'm thinking of nothing with relating to Miles, huh? Maybe on a free time, I know that you don't have free time. I do some Netflixing, and I think I watch a few series, a few movies, but I love to travel a lot, though I haven't been traveling a lot during COVID. I'd gone to Brazil just before the COVID period. Okay. So my wife is an alumni of Stanford, so she's having a Stanford reunion in Portugal in September. So I'm looking forward to that. So I love traveling, but I love history a lot. So we're going to Greece and then to Portugal. But apart from that, I think I love my job so much. I think that's my ikigai. Definitely, yes, please. So what kind of a person Varun is? Like more of a sports, more of a relaxing, more of an adventurous? What? So I think I'm more like a workaholic person. I love adventures in business, adventures, and I think the entire journey has been, yes, very, very adventurous, but not really like a real outdoor sports kind of a guy. Not as much. Okay. But of course, when you travel, then you really enjoy it. So I think, especially given the fact that I wear two hats, one as a lead instructor of Miles and a CEO, I think there's a lot on my plate. Of course, got an amazing team, but there's still a lot of focus and a lot to do here. So,
Okay. And maybe for like any one thing which you actually like you have regretted for that actually, so like apart from not like dropping out from CA or apart from like not going for CA, is there anything else for which you regret like शायद ये बहुत बड़ी गलती हो गई या like ये आज तक you feel that no मुझे ये करना चाहिए था या ये मैंने नहीं किया या गलत किया, so any sort of those feeling or
genuinely no regrets. I mean, if I look back, perhaps a lot of things that we did, we could have done better, but then genuinely no regrets. And I think I'm lucky that, okay, things just panned out. So,
okay, okay. What is your favorite cuisine? So, what kind of a food you like to have?
So I enjoy various cuisines. I think I love Thai as well. I love the khao suey and I love the Thai red curry. So I think that's one of my favorites. But then I also like pizzas. But of course now I'm on a good diet regime, so I need to lose a lot of weight. But I think yeah. So food wise, multiple cuisines: Thai, Japanese, Italian, continental. So everything.
Great, great. Uh, what would be that one place which you would like to go there, or maybe like you would like to go again, or maybe you're still that one place in your like bucket list that I want to visit to that place. So, what is that bucket list?
I love being on the plane, wherever you want to take me, and I'll tell you why. Because when you're on land, right, your phone's on and your WhatsApp's buzzing, your messages are buzzing, you're buzzing.
Wow.
In a plane, you get so siloed out. I sometimes wish there could be a plane which could take me out. Let's say I'm staying in Bangalore. From Bangalore, go around the earth and come back and land in Bangalore.
Wow.
So I
That's
do I
very
do a
good.
lot I do a lot of very intensive work in my flights. So even when I travel locally, when I go those couple of hours, those are couple of hours I spend for reviewing content, really focused work. But yeah, Serena, no such favorite places, but I think I love traveling around the world. My wife, she wanted to go to Greece for a very long time, and we are headed there in September. So
Sure, that's great. That's great. So, thank you so much, Varun. It was really nice talking to you. It was really nice knowing how Varun was, how he has changed, with the ups and downs and everything. So it was really great talking to you, Varun. And I think there are a lot of questions which is coming in. I think maybe if we can answer some of those, or maybe if you would like to answer some of those.
I think a lot of questions around integrity. Lena, any prior experience?
Okay, so like if you have prior experience, that would be an added advantage. But yes, freshers can also apply. And in case of fresher, we give them a training of 3 months to understand US accounting, US tax, US audit, and the communication side. So yeah, freshers can apply. Yes, the only process is if you clear that test, if you clear the manager round, then yes, we can go ahead with that.
Okay, I see a couple of questions around the CMA program. So, guys, again, the reason why we spoke a lot about CPA today, because a lot of the work that Integrity does is public accounting. Of course, Integrity also has a lot of CMAs, but
Yeah, we are in fact sponsoring CMAs as well.
right, but a lot of work was around. So I think that's where more discussions were around CPA, and no intent to sort of not talk about CMAs. I mean, of course, it's a great management accounting qualification. I'm a CMA, so yeah. So I think that's there. I think a question around certificate on audit and tax by AICPA. So Achal, if you can get in touch with Nazia from our team, she'll give you more details. So this is basically like a nano certification focused on the audit and tax skills that you need, and it's think of it like a CPA foundation, I won't say CPA inter, but maybe a CPA foundation or a CPA inter, which could help you get entry level jobs. So if you're already working, if you already have a few years experience, I will not advise that for you. But if you're looking at an entry level job, your first job, that could be a good skill set to have.
Okay.
Okay, any other question? For us, is skills required for an accountant. For us, I think accountants, you have a variety of skills, right? Depending on the role, you could have skills in finance, accounting, audit, tax. You could have an FP&A, financial planning and analysis. You could be a controller, sort of the recording, the financial reporting, and all of that. You could get into internal audit. You could get into the investment management industry. Could be investment banker. So I would say, a lot of roles in finance and accounting, and you got to find your niche. And of course, CA, CPA, CMA. A lot of these are generic qualifications which prepare you for multiple roles, and then you figure out, or sometimes you don't figure out, you get an opportunity and you start loving it in terms of finding the right direction for yourself. For us, skills for CMA, management accounting skills. How do you create value? Budgeting, forecasting, cost management, internal controls, corporate finance, investment decisions, and you got a bunch of about 12 competencies that are covered as part of the CMA program. Okay, Pooja has a question. If we don't pass, do we again get the sponsorship? Leena, over to you on this.
Okay, so no, so we will sponsor everything for one time. So like in our sponsorship, we include all the coaching fees, we include all the examination fees, which includes NTS, evaluation, bridge courses. So we sponsor everything, but all the sponsorship is for one time, irrespective of the fact that if you are able to clear your paper one or not, we can still sponsor for you for paper two. If you have not cleared both the papers and if you like to go for paper three, we will sponsor for that as well. And this process is applicable for all the sponsorship courses. So we will sponsor for all the papers for one time. Unfortunately, if you don't clear, or if you cannot clear, then maybe you have to do it out of your own, you have to do it on your own cost. So yeah, we will do everything for one time. And yes, even Indian accounting experienced people, it's like, in fact, you guys are most welcome, because accounting concepts are same all over the world. It's just you need to understand the process how US accounting is working. So the concepts are same. People with Indian experience accounting are much more welcome, because they don't need to know the concepts of accounting. They just need to understand the process of US accounting. So that won't take much time.
Okay, perfect. Leena, another question from Uma. Does Entigrity have BCom grads CMA pursuing?
Yeah, as I said, we do hire them. So you guys can visit to the career page of Entigrity and you can apply from that. There would be a link which would be given to you. If you clear that test, you would be considered for HR and manager round. So even a BCom grad, even a fresher, even an experienced person, we are hiring everyone. But the only point is, if you clear that test, then only we go for the next round of interview. That is with manager and HR. So yeah, if you clear that test, definitely we will hire you, provided the HR and manager round is good enough. And if you are pursuing CMA, probably yes, that will obviously help you to gauge the insight.
Perfect. I think we have a question from Justin, preparing for CPA. Justin, I think that's a call that you would need to take. Either way is fine. And I think we've mostly sorted the questions, Leena.
Yes.
So guys, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Leena, for organizing this.
Thank you so much, Varun, for taking out your time. I do know, I was talking to Nazia, so getting a time was something which was a difficult task, because you have a lot of things going on. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for taking out time for coming on this show and sharing a lot of value addition and sharing a lot of information which is relevant to the students, to the professional who wants to grow their career in this US accounting industry or maybe global accounting industry. So I think this information was very much helpful for them, and I'm sure all the members, all the viewers who are watching this would have got a lot of answers from your questions. They would have got a lot of answers from the information which you have shared.
Thank you so much, Leena. Really, really appreciate. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Varun. Bye. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe our channel, like, share and comment. And stay tuned for our next episode, which is going to come out soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.